Hi guys, welcome to the TCGplayer.com West Virginia Modern State Championships. We're broadcasting out of Four Horsemen Comics and Gaming in Morgantown, West Virginia. My name is Ryan O'Loughlin.
And I am Kurt Nye.
Thank you for watching today. We're going to jump right into our first round, so I'm going to give the players the signal to begin. There we go. And we have Tyler Claypole on Merfolk on the left versus Nick Lightner on something spicy on the right.
Oh, yeah.
Nick is our resident brewmaster. He likes to bring a lot of different decks to the table. So we're gonna see what he has for us today. You see, he's starting off on Sacred Foundry, falling down to 18. You see a Boros Charm and a Grim Lavamancer in his hand. I promise you he's not playing Burn.
Yeah, I know, right? It looks like it, but it will not be Burn. We'll see that maybe once he starts drawing some of his other cards here.
Okay, so we have Tyler starting off with Cavern into Cursecatcher, passing back to Nick, who plays Grim Lavamancer to pass. Tyler has Mutavault into Silvergale Adept. Grim Lavamancer is pretty strong against Merfolk.
Yeah, I would say so. I like Grim Lavamancer as a card in general. I think it's pretty sweet.
In general, it's very strong. It's especially strong against the tribal decks that are trying to win with a large number of small creatures.
Yeah.
The machine gun, as it were. He just needs to get some spells and fetch lands into his graveyard. All right,
Looks
so
like he's playing the Soul Eater.
Planes into Emulating Soul Eater. Tyler's going to read it.
That's the spice right there.
Emulating Soul Eater is 2 generic mana for a 2/1 with Fire Breathing for red Phyrexian mana. Yep. That's a card that I've experimented around with in Pauper a little bit.
Yeah, I've seen a few deck lists for Emulating Soul Eater in Modern floating around, on YouTube and things like that. Various different people messing around with it on Magic Online. It can be a very fast, very aggressive deck if you get a good draw. I'm not entirely sure if Nicholas's deck is going to play like those, but it looks like it's going to try to.
Reading over the deck list, it's almost like a red-white Death Shadow deck.
Yeah.
Just take a look at his deck list. So his creature base is made up of like Vexing Devil, Grim Lavamancer, Kiln Fiend, Emulating Soul Eater, and then he has a Leonin Arbors and Spirit Guides. So yeah, when you see Kiln Fiend in a deck list, you know your opponent's trying to do something unfair. Okay,
Well,
so
it looks like there's a
Tyler swings it in with the Cursecatcher and the Silvergale Adept. Nick Lightner blocks with the Emulating Soul Eater, trading with the Cursecatcher. Nick takes 2, goes down to 16. And then he plays Leonin Arbiter.
Leonin Arbiter.
Yeah. Says that has the static ability that whenever any player wants to search their library, they must pay 2 generic mana in order to do so.
Right, yep. I believe there's a few things that take advantage of that. Let's see if he's got them in his deck list here. Like the Path to Exile makes that card
basically
really good.
It makes it better than Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah.
Does he have Ghost Quarters in his deck?
He does have Ghost Quarters, yep.
So this is usually something you see out of like a Hate Bears deck.
Looks like he got another Grim Lavamancer down.
Yeah, this seems like a strong position against Merfolk. Unfortunately, Nick isn't doing anything to really put any cards in his graveyard. So right now, those are just 1-mana 1/1s.
Yeah, a bit of a slow start for this spicy deck here.
Yep, so you see that Leonin Arbor trade-off with a Silvergale Adept.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Leonin Arbor isn't too strong against Tyler's deck, but I don't believe he has a single card that he can use to search his library.
Right, it's basically there just for the boost to the paths and the Ghost Quarters at this point because Tyler's deck does run a lot of basics.
Yep.
He did recently just upgrade it with those Cavern of Souls.
He did. He just purchased those off myself. Okay, so Nick gets his first 2 cards in the graveyard, activates Grim Lavamancer, targeting Lord of Atlantis. Definitely want to kill those lords first.
Yeah.
Especially since if a second one comes down on this turn, they'd all be out of range.
Right, and he doesn't have anything in his hand to deal with a Master of Waves if Tyler's able to get one of those down. Doesn't look like he's got one in hand.
Right,
he does have one in hand. Well, there you go.
So that Master of Waves is going to bring the Squirtle Squad for 3. You see the lead Squirtle on the right there.
Squirtle, yeah. I believe he said he got RK Post himself to scribble those on there.
I actually I had RK Post do it for my Squirtle tokens at Grand Prix Columbus, and then Tyler copied me and did it in Pittsburgh, but that's okay because it's awesome.
Well, they say mimicry is the sincerest form of flattery.
You know, I didn't think of it that way. Yeah. You were correct.
Yeah.
It looks like Nick seems to be a little choked on red mana this game. Okay, here comes a Vexing Devil. He chooses to cast that over activating the Grim Lavamancer since he only has one card in hand. Vexing Devil is a 1-mana 4/3. When it comes into play, an opponent may choose to pay 4 life and have the active player sacrifice the Vexing Devil.
Right. Does the Vexing Devil have haste also? I can't quite remember.
It does not.
Okay.
No.
All right.
That, ironically, so Vexing Devil is probably the most hyped card out of Avacyn Restored. And is done, is not a bad card, but has done not nearly as much as other hits such as Grizzlebrand, Restoration Angel, Cavern of Souls,
right. Well,
Terminus.
On paper, it's like a super lightning bolt, basically, or like basically a flame javelin for 1, which sounds really good. It just doesn't. Yeah, you don't see it get a lot of play.
It sees fringe play in burn decks and deck like these. Tyler correctly identifies that Nick is choked on red mana and decides to Spreading Seas that Sacred Foundry.
Oh boy.
If only he had a Lord to follow this up with, but he's going to choose to activate Mutavault and swing in with the Manland and the Squirtle Squad, it looks like.
Yep.
So this is an attack. So since the Mutavault is a changeling, it does get buffed by the Master of Waves.
Right, so he's got 12 damage coming his way?
He's got 3, 5, 7, 9.
9.
Yes. And that will drop Mr. Lightner down to 4. So it looks like Tyler just needs a Lord of Atlantis or a Master of the Pearl trying to lock this game up.
Yeah.
Nick, unfortunately, has a handful of red cards that he cannot cast because he's drawn a bunch of planes. He decides to pack it up. Tyler takes the first game. He is 1-0 with Merfolk over Nick Lightner's spicy deck.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler, he had a pretty good draw into that matchup, definitely, with the Master of Waves in there and all the Cavern of Souls he could ever want. So,
yeah, the protection from red on Master of Waves seems pretty strong in this matchup. Definitely keeps the Elemental Army alive against the deck with the Grim Lavamancer. Alright, hopefully with the Nick on the play, though, he can have all the mana and spells he needs to take us to a third game and give the players something interesting to watch at home.
Yeah, definitely. The Something Spicy deck has a lot of potential to be pretty exciting. Can be really explosive if he gets, kind of the nut draw that he's looking for.
So, just looking at the deck list, what would you say is that quote-unquote nut draw? Maybe like turn 1, use a Simian Spirit Guide and play a Kiln Fiend?
Yeah, if he can get a turn 1 Kill Fiend or an Immolating Soul Eater, he can come crashing in for quite a lot. I'd say probably the Soul Eater over the Kiln Fiend would be a little bit better because he can just pay his life towards boosting it to very large amounts.
So to emulate the Soul Eater over the Kiln Fiend?
I would say that's probably what he would want.
And he doesn't have to kill himself. He can use that fire-breathing ability in concession with all the other spells in his deck. Does he have like Tamir Battle Rage? Or
take a look at the list. It doesn't look like it's main boarded. Let's take a look here.
What kind of pump spells does he have to break Kiln Fiend and Emulating Soul Eater?
Well, he doesn't have a ton of pump, but he does have... so he can pay a bunch of life, crash in with the Soul Eater, and then potentially follow up either with a Lightning Bolt or a Lightning Helix.
So is it he's maybe just trying to use burn spells to
get
the last point
he could he could try to get the turn 2 Miracle on the Thunderous Wrath.
Yeah.
To do quite a bit, and then that would probably honestly, I mean, if Tyler doesn't have a blocker by turn 2, and he Thunderous Wraths him, that's what, 5? damage.
Yeah, Thunderous Wrath is a Miracle 1 red for 5. Actually, so this deck is spicy. So I was imagining kind of like a bunch of pump spells and then trying to kill them quickly with Soul Eater and Killing Fiend. But it seems to be like built to play a little bit of a longer game than that because it has all the Leonin Arbiters and the Paths and the Ghost Quarters.
Yeah, it can play a little locky, a little control-y, but I think that's really it's the fallback. If he has to take it past turn 3, probably he's going to want to start trying to do that.
I would have almost expected to see a Monastery Swiftspear in this deck, but I guess that's just not the direction he chose to win with it. It's very, very different. We're all about seeing interesting matchups. We don't want to show you guys the burn mirrors 10 times today. Speaking of which, we'll be playing and covering 7 rounds of Swiss with a cut to top 8. We do not require that our players go onto camera, but we hope to cover all 10 rounds for you. So it looks like we are ready to go. Nick says... Mountain Go, no Simeon Spirit Guide shenanigans this game. Tyler responds with Aboro Palace in the Clouds into Aether Vial. Here's a Killing Fiend. Off a cliff top retreat.
Yeah. So I think I'm trying to think of what the best kind of nut draw this Something Spicy deck could have. It definitely would be a Spirit Guide into a turn 1 Soul Eater. Miracle, a Thunderous Wrath to take him to 15. And then he could put... trying to think here. Maybe I gotta think of what he's got to pay 2 life if he wants to pump the Soul Eater. I don't think this deck is necessarily set up to do a turn 2 win, just from the looks of it. I know some of the other deck lists for this definitely have a few more janky combo pieces that can do like a turn 2 or 2.
Usually you see like Tamir Battle Rage or Titan Strength, those kinds of cards.
Right.
Okay, so Tyler actually had a perfect answer to Killing Fiend in Tidebinder Mage. Unfortunately for Tyler, Nick had the Lightning Bolt to answer it. Here's Kira, the Great Glass Spinner, which gives all Tyler's creatures the Frost Titan effect.
Right.
Where the first spell or ability that targets them is countered unless his opponent pays 2. So Kiln Fiend is unlocked, but now has Kira to deal with.
Right, yeah. And Kira is what's the buddy on Kira? 2-3? 2-2?
2-2, I believe.
2-2?
Yeah.
So it's a bit of an annoyance in this deck. Looks like he can put up the mana to just kill it off right now if he wants to. Looks like he's going to try to take it to combat.
I don't think Nick's strategy is to worry about killing the Kira. I think he's going to do it, but he's just going to pay the 2. Yes, he's going to choose to pay the 2. I was going to say, the strategy may be to just go over top of the Kira. Okay, so he's going to let the path get countered so Tyler doesn't get an island, and then he's going to Lightning Helix targeting Kira.
Right, and now the Kiln Fiend is going to be a 5. Is it start with 1 power?
It starts with power. 1, and then it goes plus 2 plus 0. Yeah.
So it's up to 5.
Okay.
And Boros puts it up to 7?
Okay, he didn't cast the Boros Charm, but he was just showing Tyler the Boros Charm for the next turn. So that was actually a turn 4 kill. That was pretty impressive.
Did he get that? Did Tyler just scoop? I'm confused.
So, Nick killed Kira before blocks.
Right.
So the Kiln Fiend got plus 4 plus 0 from the Path and the Lightning Helix.
Right.
And then Nick showed Tyler the Boros Charm for his next turn.
So Tyler must have not had anything in his hand really that could deal with that. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would have scooped it up there personally.
Actually, what I think may have happened?
What?
Tyler may have said no blocks, and then Nick may have said Lightning Helix target you. And then, and then he takes the full 6 from the Kiln Fiend.
Right.
And then he takes the Boros Charm on the next turn.
Yeah. I still think if I were Tyler, I would have maybe gone to my next turn just to see if I top deck anything that might.
Yeah, I mean, like this is in no way going to be a slow match, so you don't have to worry so much about the clock. I would definitely take another draw step.
Yeah.
If I have another draw step, I would take it. not worried about going to time on this one. We're at the 35-minute mark, and we already have 2 games down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, something spicy did what it's supposed to do. Kill on turn 3, turn 4. Kind of got the win through demoralizing his opponent, but a win's a win.
Tyler is thoroughly demoralized. So, thinking about sideboarding here, I'm not sure that Kira is the direction that Tyler wants to go. Kira's really good in those attrition matchups against like Jund and Grixis when they have lots of removal spells. I think Tyler just wants like his Vapor Snags, his Tidebinder Mages.
Right, yeah.
Dismember's a little sketchy.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Spell Pierce would have been a good one to bring in.
Spell Pierce could be very relevant in these games as well.
Right. Spell Skite.
So if I were Tyler, I would probably board in Spell Skite because I'm expecting pump spells, but it's not actually good against Nick because Nick doesn't have any.
Right, yeah. He could catch Lightning Bolt redirect at the Spell Skite instead of to his face. You're right. He doesn't have a lot of great sideboard pieces for this.
I think the Vapor Snags are pretty strong.
Vapor Snag's good. I'm trying to remember which one the Tidebinder Mage is.
Tidebinder Mage, he did play in game 2. It's the blue...
the one that bounces a tapped
No, that's
creature?
Harbinger of the Tides.
Okay.
Tidebinder Mage is blue, enters the battlefild, tap a red or green creature your opponent controls. It doesn't untap as long as you control it.
So
Tidebinder Mage is really great.
Yeah. And looking at Nick's sideboard, I mean, we don't know what he brought in, but it looks like realistically maybe the last Path to Exile to deal with Master of Waves, and then I guess he could bring in the 2 Ghost Quarters if he wanted to, but he doesn't really have a lot in the sideboard to really address Merfolk. Not that I think he necessarily needs it, because on paper, it looks like something spicy in theory could outpace Merfolk just in general.
I think in talking about role assessment, like which is the control deck and which is the beatdown deck, I think that Nick is the beatdown deck, but I think being on the draw hurts him quite a bit.
Definitely.
Especially if Tyler just has that Merfolk like Vial into Lord hand where it's just like, and here we go, Tyler's on the play starting Island into turn 1 Aether Vial. Although here comes Nick with the Grim Lavamancer. Now, if Nick can do a better job this game of filling up his graveyard and not getting choked on red mana, this could be really bad for Tyler. Here's Wonderwine Hub into Silvergill Adept.
He has a Master of the Pearl Trident in hand.
And he has Kira in his hand. I'm not sure what else.
Like he had 2 Master of the Pearl Tridents.
And a Tidebinder Mage. Tidebinder Mage is a great answer to Grim Lavamancer.
Yeah.
Especially since Nick is tapping out for... Although you might...
Kiln Fiend.
What do you target with Tidebinder Mage here? Kiln Fiend or Grim Lavamancer?
That's a tough call.
I guess you have to target the Grim Lavamancer.
I would target the Lavamancer and then just plan on chumping the Kiln Fiend, really.
Because if you target the Kiln Fiend, he can just kill the Tidebinder Mage.
He can kill off whatever he wants.
Or you can just cast... Oh, so since he has Vial up to 2, Tyler can cast Kira and still Vial in Tidebinder Mage.
Oh, man.
So this seems strong.
Yeah, definitely got a quick draw.
So he's going to targets
Killing Fiend.
If Nick doesn't have cards in his graveyard on his next turn, this could work out for Tyler.
Right, now he's going to have to point the Lavamancer at Kira if he can...
Oh, yeah, that's right, because Kira's in play.
Right.
So he actually has to have Grim Lavamancer plus another spell. And...
Well, does Kira... It can't counter does it counter abilities?
I'm pretty sure it is. It's spells and abilities. Go ahead and check that
Yeah,
first.
We'll take a quick look here.
Here's a second Kiln Fiend. This third game's shaping up to be a lot more interesting than the first 2. Alright, so second Kiln Fiend for Nick. He's going to pass back. He's leaving up red. He doesn't have any spells in his graveyard. Does he have any Phyrexian mana spells that he can fill up his graveyard with?
He has 1 Apostle's Blessing.
But he can't do that and have mana for...
Right.
Unless he has Spirit Guides in his hand.
He can pitch Spirit Guides, which is actually not bad because it gives him mana for Kira too.
Mm-hmm. Tyler keeps his Vial on 2 and casts Mara Regery.
Oh boy.
Tyler's looking to be in an okay position.
Yeah, definitely has a lot of board advantage. Kira does counter abilities too, so he would have to pay for the Lavamancer.
Having the flyer here is not bad either, with the Graham getting on lock. So
Tyler's probably holding off for a spreading sea so that he can throw down his lords.
Yeah.
And just go right to the face.
Currently, he has the Lord in play that does not grant Island Walk.
Right.
Okay. So, kicks it back. Nicholas falls from 20 down to 18 and untap, but the Killing Fiend stays tapped.
Looks like is that a path in his hand?
I see Boros Charm path. It's the Vincer versus Koth art.
Yeah. That's okay art, but I prefer the original Conflux art.
I actually like the dual deck one myself.
Do you?
Yeah, I do like the Conflux one though.
I'm excited for the Modern Master 17 reprint.
Oh yeah, they can print that card a million times and it just won't go under $5.
Yeah.
Here comes Soul Eater, continuing to add to Nick Lightner's army of Phyrexian amalgamations, I'd say.
Right. The board is pretty even now. They have the same amount of creatures, same amount of mana, but the thing is, yeah, Tyler can Aether in a Master of the Pearl Trident, he can cast a Master of the Pearl Trident, and he still has mana up for a Spreading Seas.
Yeah, if he has Spreading Seas or Seas Claim here.
Doesn't look like he has it.
But he does have another Master.
He does have a Spellskite, so it looks like he did bring the Spellskite.
Which he can cast both of these here and be
in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I think that makes his board big enough that he can start thinking about attacking.
Yeah, and at this point, Nick is really in an uphill battle. The 3 cards in his hand aren't really going to do him a lot of good.
And I made that comment that I didn't think this was the matchup for Kira, but it's definitely good right here with all these Path to Exiles.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so Tyler's going to attack. He's leaving up the Vial to Vial in that second Master. It looks like he's thinking about just swinging the team. Yeah, and he does. Which I would have thought about just casting the Master instead of Vial. That way you get to trigger Marrow Regery and tap down one of Nick's 2 creatures.
Right. Still a lot of damage coming in. All the Merfolk up to get +2/+2 right now.
Currently they get +2/+2. As soon as he vials that in, they're going to get +3/+3, which is going to make
That's going to give him a board full of 5/5s.
So the Master and the Marrow Reader will be 4/4s.
4/4s.
And the Tidebinder Mage and the Silver Girl Adept will have 5 power.
Right.
So that's 10. That's 18.
That's
the 2 in
20.
the air. Right. It's 20 once he vials it in. So Nick has to block or have 2 removal spells here, which means he has to have Path plus.
Yeah, but he can't pay for the removal spells.
Well, he can let the first one get countered. So if he has Path and then Spirit Guide plus Lightning Bolts.
But he doesn't.
But he doesn't because he has
Boros.
He has Boros Charm, Path, and something. So
that looks like the Apostle's Blessing.
So this may be game right here.
So this is where Spellskite's really good because he could go for the Apostle's Blessing on his own creature to give it protection. But now Tyler could just Spellskite it.
You're right.
His way.
So and even if Nick had the whole Path plus Bolt plus Spirit Guide, Tyler could just redirect it.
Right.
And he even has blue mana open, so he doesn't have to pay a life.
Yeah. See, Spellskite.
So it looks like Nick is in the hard lock here.
Yeah. This, I mean, I'm not a fan of early scoops, but in this instance, I don't see how Nicholas can come back from this.
No, I don't either, but he's gonna give it a shot. So
he's gonna pump
Soul Eater, maybe
Soul Eater. I'm not.
So it looks like
sure what that accomplishes necessarily.
Soul Eater is blocking Tidebinder Mage, and he's going to pump it once.
Interesting.
Using red mana
play because they can't trade. He'd have to pay 6 more life.
Well, even then,
trade with that, which is not. It's not good.
Yeah, he's dead anyway from the rest of the creatures. So he's gonna.
So he is pumping.
He's pumping it.
So it's up to 3 now.
He's going down to 14. So they will die, and then Nick is going to take. He's going to take 5 from the Silvergill Adept, 2. That's 7. 4. That's 11, and then 4 is 15. He should be dead. Correct?
I believe so.
All right.
5. Did he not do any more?
All right. Let's stop them.
Stop.
Go ahead. And then I'll step downstairs and we'll make sure we have that combat damage correct.
Okay, yeah, we're just making sure, because by our math, it looked like Nicholas would have been killed there. We're not really sure what was going on with the Soul Eater, paying the Phyrexian mana into that to trade, because I thought he would have had to pay a lot more life into that to get it big enough to trade with the Tidebinder. So we'll see. Ryan's down there now. He's walking through with them to see what's going on. And we'll see what they can figure out. Looks like he's still down there talking to him, so we'll see what's going on here. I see some people on Facebook. I do have my eyes on the live Facebook. Hey, Jordan, what's going on, dude? Good to see you in here. And Kenny, if you're in here, man, good to see you. Thanks for checking out the stream here. We are doing the West Virginia State Championships for Magic the Gathering, and the format is Modern. Modern, basically you can use any card that's been printed in a core set or standard set from Magic 8th edition to current. Jordan says, yo, what's up, dude? Good to see you here. Yeah, this I'm spending my Sunday. We're going to be covering 7 rounds of Swiss and then a cut to top 8. So essentially we're going to be doing 10 rounds here. So we're going to be here for a long time today. But, you know, it's Magic. I love it. So I regret nothing. We're still trying to figure out Nicholas here should be dead, according to our math up here in the booth. But they have him, the players on there think he's at 1. So Ryan, the other judge, there's 3 judges here working the tournament, but 2 of us are up here in the booth commentating. But Ryan just ran down there to talk with them and figure out what exactly is going on. He has not come back up for quite a few minutes here, so I'm not really sure what it is they could be discussing down there. We'll take a look. All the Merfolk, well, the Tidebinder and the Silver Gill were getting +3/+3 from the Lords. So that was essentially their 5/5s. And then the other 2 Lords swinging in would be 4/4s. So that would be 5, 9, 13, 15. And Nicholas had dropped himself to 14 to pay for the Killing Fiend. So he should be dead. I'll be interested to see what Ryan has to say when he comes back up here to let me know what exactly was going on down there. So if anybody who is watching either on YouTube or Twitch or Facebook is in the Morgantown area and they do want to come by and see what happens, we are running another event a little bit later in the day for people who might have missed the beginning of the States. I don't have the exact specifics on what time that's starting, but if you head to our Facebook page, you can search for Horsemen Comics and Games on Facebook and bring us up. We do have all the event info on our page there, so you can take a look and see when that's starting. It is another Modern event, so if you have a Modern deck and you want to come down a little bit later this afternoon to play with us, we'd love to see you. Jordan, wish I could, man. Yeah, you got to come to West Virginia and come hang out, dude. That's all right. Ryan is back up here.
Okay, so we recounted all the damage.
Yeah, what's going on with
Nick
that?
is dead.
Yeah, that okay.
But Tyler, he and Tyler miscounted the damage as 13. And let me actually see if I can switch back to us.
So, what is the resolution here?
Well, that's what we're working out. Just be... Nope. Okay. So, the players have appealed that they would like to rewind to where Nick activated the Immolating Soul Eater.
Okay.
So that he doesn't die, because they were working under misinformation that the total damage would have been 13.
Okay, that's why he put himself to 14 to pump the Soul Eater.
Right.
All right.
So, but the issue is that power and toughness is all derived information and is public and is right there. And they both miscount.
Both missed it.
But he was dead.
Right, okay.
So he appealed that to the head judge, and our head judge, Ryan Wolf, shout out to him, is making a call on that right now, if he's going to let these players rewind or not.
Okay, so he's deliberating?
Yeah, he is deliberating. Huge bonus of not being the head judge, being a floor judge. You just get to say,
yeah, right?
not my decision.
Yeah. So I've been talking a little bit while you were down there. We got a few people on Facebook watching us. I've got my eyes on the Facebook chat. We are live on YouTube and on Twitch as well. So if people are on any of those chats, we're going to take a look here and see what you guys have to say while we're waiting for this decision to be made. And I was letting them know, I couldn't remember the exact time, but Ryan, you are our head event organizer. People in the Morgantown area, if they want to come by, we are running another Modern event later this afternoon again, right?
Yes, we have the TCG States Rebound event. It is at 4 p.m.
Okay.
It's a $10 entry to everybody who played in States. Otherwise, it's $15. And it's just a regular REL Swiss Rounds Modern event. For every 8 players, we add another box to the prize support.
Excellent. All right, that sounds like a lot of fun.
If you're in the area, definitely come down for that.
Okay, now it looks like Ryan down there reset Nick's lift total to 18 on the dice. So I'm not really sure what exactly is going on.
He may have allowed them to rewind to...
Before the activations?
It looks like we're at blocks, but before the activations.
Right, okay.
Once it seems that play has began, I will hop downstairs and confirm with Ryan how exactly he did rule.
A lot of thinking about it here. I don't know, man. Either way, I don't see a way for Nick to get out of this one. Even if they do reset it, even if he lives another turn with blocks, I mean, Tyler can just swing in the next turn and probably take it.
Yep.
So... All right, Tyler was given the thumbs up, so I guess that means
it looks like
good.
It looks like our head judge ruled that he would allow the players to rewind to where blocks have been made, but before Nick had activated the Soul Eater. Yes, jet fuel can melt steel beams. Gatekeeper 706, you are correct.
We had a Claypole fan in the chat on Twitch, I see as well.
Yeah, Mr. Tyler declared in our Facebook group this morning, which you guys should join. Search Team 4 Horsemen MTG on Facebook. Has all the info for all of our events in our discussion threads. Anyways, Tyler declared himself that he will be winning this event this morning. So we have a lot of...
what a sight that would be to see.
We have a lot of naysayers and a lot of supporters. The community is splitting up into 2 camps, pro-Tyler and anti-Tyler.
This is really, it's really the great divider of the event here.
Yeah.
Who's going to be able to stomach letting Tyler refer to himself as a state champion for the next year?
Well, if he earns it, he earns it.
Yeah, if he earns it, he earns it, right.
But we, Kurt and I decided prior to the broadcast that we would not publicly state where our allegiances lie. We're going to be neutral all the time. We have Raid Boss in the Twitch chat who is hashtag Team Claypole. I'd say Team Turtle myself, but
yeah, I mean he's that's like his superhero persona.
Yeah. So I think our head judge is probably still deliberating. Normally, guys, I would kick it back to the booth so you can watch us talk instead of just watching the players sitting there. Unfortunately, our upstairs camera is not fully functional at this moment. I'm going to try and fix that right now. I'm not my intention to have you guys watching the players just sitting there. It looks like it's still not working. We're going to have to work on that in between rounds. Sorry about that, guys. So hopefully we can get this situation moving as soon as possible. Thank you guys all for watching. I see quite a few viewers out on the TYF sphere. That's the Twitch, YouTube, and the Facebook. Kazu's not here, Gatekeeper 706. He, for those of you unfamiliar, he's referring to Kazu Negri, who has 3 state titles in West Virginia. He's not at this event, so a lot of our other grinders are avid to try and get a chance.
Yeah, they all showed up when they learned he was not going to be here.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going to be there, and then attendance just went through the roof.
Oh, looks like Ryan... Is that a warning? Did Ryan give him a warning?
Nope, that is the... It looks like it's the match slip. I'm going to head downstairs and see what's going on.
Okay.
But it looks like that may be the match. I'm going to just confirm.
Okay, Ryan is going to go figure that out, and Jordan on Facebook, Kurt should share his most memorable damnation moment. Well, yeah, we can do a little story time until Ryan gets back up here. Jordan is referring to a time when he and I were young men just out of high school. We went to our first constructed format ever in Indiana. Normally we had pretty much just been doing drafts up until that point at F&M's. But we went to a standard constructed event, and this is back when Ravnica and Time Spiral were in standard with 10th edition. I was running a really janky Niv Mizzet combo deck that did not do well at all, and Jordan was running Slivers, hilariously enough, and he was in a match against, I believe, Blue-Black Control, which was a really popular deck at the time, and he was about to win a match when... Oh, Ryan is back up here, so I'm going to interrupt story time for a moment.
Yes, our head judge, Ryan, did rule that because Nick made the blocks the way that he did, and that power and toughness is derived from the battlefield and is public knowledge, that he did die, and Tyler takes this match 2-1.
All right.
So there's only about 5 minutes left on the clock for the main tournament, so we are going to sign off for now, and we will be back very soon with round number 2. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, I am Ryan.
And I am Kurt.
And we will be right back.